far as angles, right? So you have 17 degree and 14 degree, and then this one, right now we're at 0 degree, and we go all the way up to 12 degree. All right, so 2660VT, VT stands for vertical tillage, but for John Deere, we're coining it as variable intensity. So vertical till is more probably this 0 to 4 degree, not much disturbance horizontally with the soil. When we get north of the 4 degrees, we're gonna start moving some dirt, right? And when we get up to this 8 to 10, you're gonna kind of see that in the field. So what I've seen in the fall right now is a lot of guys are running in corn about 6 to 10 degrees if they don't have HEL type soils. And they're getting some good soil movement. They're cutting and sizing. They're allowing that to break down for the spring application. In the spring, they're looking at that 2 to 3 up to about 6 or 7, depending how rough the fields are and what you want out of that. So the more degrees in the spring, you can bring up more clods. So some guys want to go straighter, right, and not bring up the clods as much, and really let those double baskets do the job of breaking it up, making it level. So this tool, if you look at it, it's pretty heavy. It's got a real heavy frame. We got stabilizers set here in the front. We have the baskets in the back. With the heaviness of the frame, we put our wing pressure down, we get our baskets pressurized, and we set these correctly. This tool doesn't want to rock. Front, rear, side to side, it's pretty locked in. So with the frame not moving, in any direction, that means we're getting a more consistent finish in the soil as far as depth and levelness. So it's pretty common. If you hear about this tool, you're going to hear about this gang angle. You're going to hear 0 to 12 degrees. We have versatility. We can go take weeds out. We can fill in ruts a little bit. When we look at filling in ruts, you're gonna it's not going to fill in ruts like a disc. But if you go to 12 degrees and we have hydraulic fore aft there, it's hard to see, but there's a cylinder. We can tip that tool all the way to the rear. Our back blades throw to the center. So if you tip it to 12, you turn it to the rear, we can actually fill in some ruts. So if you have some light combine ruts or some washouts, you can do that. You can get a decent fill in, turn around, and then with the true set, we can hit one button and go back to the conditions you want to run in the field. So there is some versatility there as far as what you can do with it with the 12 degree angle. But really that's the thing you hear. The big name of the game, honestly, is, and as far as finish, is the double baskets. All right, so that's a Pro Finish double basket system. They're hydraulically adjustable, so we can go up to 900 PSI in the baskets. When we look at the baskets, you're always going to have the front one there. That's the reverse knife edge. So reverse knife edge, what it's doing is kind of the subsoil. So if you look at the baskets, they're kind of like this. So that front basket's in the subsoil. When we go over 5 degrees, you'll see that the blades can cause a little bit of a ripple because we're moving more horizontal soil. When we do that, that front basket then is cutting those ridges. So the front basket's cutting the ridges, it's pinning residue in the subsoil, and then the rear basket's kind of the finishing basket. So if you see anything from the road, the levelness, the clods getting broke up, that's more the back basket. If you dig behind the tool, you'll see what that front basket's doing, and it's very noticeable when we compare against the competition, especially some of the VTs that have a heavier angle on the blades. All right, so those baskets we can run with up to 900 PSI pressure. We can run them float. We can pull them up out of the ground if we think we need to, as well as on the back you can see a lockout. So you could leave the front basket down and pull up the back basket and lock it out if you think you need to. For the most part, I always want the front basket down. The subsoil work it's doing is a huge part of this tool and the finish as far as planting and leaving a good finish. If it's really wet, honestly, I would rather not pull the baskets up and run. I'd rather just not run and wait till the conditions get better. VT tools are not meant to be in real wet conditions. If it gets too wet, it's better to park it and wait till it dries out a little bit. True set wise, again, we'll go over that screen here in a minute, but this tool's got all the true set on it. So you got hydraulic stabilizer wheels here, so we can adjust those from the cab, set those. We have the hydraulic fore aft. We have the hydraulic gang angle. Right, so you can order all these things manual. This could be a turnbuckle. There could be rollers here with a spring pin where you set it. So we can do everything mechanical, but if you want the true set and the adjustability, we can do all this from the cab. All right, so the hydraulic gang angle, wing pressure, basket pressure. This is side to side, which we'll show you here in the screen. But basically what that means is if we get into a field and say that with the soil and the moisture, we're sinking a little bit more in the center and our wings are a little higher, instead of going out there and turn the turnbuckle, you can in the cab hit your wings and go 1/2 inch deeper. Deepen the wings compared to your center. So You'll notice that and how easy it is to do that. And if we look at cultivators like the big 5 sections, you'll see that as well. Or even this one on a 5 section. It's really nice to be able to go in the cab and just level the tool out without having to get out or mess with it. So this one has the side-to-side leveling as well. And that's pretty much all the true set. So everything on it, it's kind of a la carte. If you want the true set depth and gang angle, you can get that. You don't have to get some other features. You don't have to get the stabilizer wheels. You don't have to get the fore aft. You can kind of order what you want as far as true set options. SCV wise, this is 4 SCVs base, and then if you get the fore aft, you'll get the 5th. So that's a lot of SCVs for some tractors. So maybe you got to stick with 4. You could always take 4 aft and just tie it back, and when you want to adjust it, you can plug it in, or maybe put a Fosse valve or something. But it does take 5 remotes if you have the 4 aft. So horsepower and sizes. So this is a 30-foot. This is probably the best match to an 8R 370 or 410 tractor. We go down to the 25-foot, which is all right for that 335, 345, 360. The smallest we go is the 25-footer, and they pull pretty hard. So 10 to 15 horsepower a foot. If you're using this tool as a vertical till tool, so that 0 to 4 degrees, that 10 to 12 horsepower is pretty realistic. When you get north of 4, you're seeing up to that 15 horsepower a foot. The main reason for the horsepower is the speed. So 8 to 10 miles an hour is how fast we want to run this tool. This tool is more forgiving if you're running slower, say 6.5, 7, it does a good job. But to get the action out of a vertical till, you need to be running the 8.5 to 9.5. That's the best job this tool is going to do. All right, so speeds, higher speeds. I mean, if you have Exactimer's planters, high speeds take high horsepower. That 2680 and this tool here take horsepower to do what you want to do. It's always better to size up a tractor than have a tractor that's barely sized for it, and then you're not able to get the condition, your finish you want out of the tool. So 25, 30 foot, we have a 33 foot. There's some guys putting a 33 foot on a 410. We actually ran that last week, the 33 footer out here, and we had it on the 370 and it wasn't sized up enough. So you do need probably 400 horsepower more on that 33 footer. In the spring, you'd probably be fine with a 370, 400, but in the fall or conditions like this, when you get more residue, they do pull pretty hard. We do have the bigger 5 sections, so we have a 43 and a 49 footer. The 49 footer is almost too much for 9620. It's sized all right, but you're not going to be able to get 9.5 with a heavier gang angle. So if you're looking to do a 5 section tool, the 43 footer is a little bit more popular. You can kind of do whatever you want with it and get the speed out of it.